guys, and I welcome you in our virtual STEM laboratory night session. You know, some of the experiments is better to do during the night in order to use darkness around to make the experiment look better. And today we will be trying to burn some stuff, especially knowing that yesterday we received a special parcel with special substances which is called oxidizers. And before we start, I want to show you something. And this is called the ferrorod, and this is a special stick made from different metals, and the main idea of this stick is to produce sparks, and using these sparks you can fire different things. So by doing like that you can spark different stuff, but it will be very hard to spark these little magnesium bars, but I will tell about this a little bit later. So I'm going to use a little bit of materials, all of which are able to burn, but I'm going to add some substances which will be producing oxygen or will be working as an oxidizer. And when you have an oxidizer present, the process of burning are going much more intensive, and this is what I'm going to try. In order to show how the magnesium is able to burn, and this is the magnesium, this is the metal which can burn and producing extremely bright flame, because it was used for many decades in photography, because it was, now we are having nice flashes which is working from the batteries, but during that time it was no battery, so people have been using magnesium to produce very bright flashes in order to make the photography working. So I will be trying to using a little bit of magnesium, and we will be able to see how well it is burning or how bad it is burning, especially when we are using oxidizers. So in order to make this experiment, we will be using several cotton pads, something like that. So I'm taking one of the cotton pads, and I will make it a little bit more fluffier, and I will put a little bit of magnesium here. So if we will try just to burn the cotton pad with the magnesium in it, we will be seeing something like that. Look. So now the temperature is going up, and finally magnesium should start burning. Let's see if it will happen. No, magnesium decided not to start burning because the temperature wasn't high enough for this. So we would need to start this fire like that, and I will move it here. So what we're going to do next, we will take another piece of a cotton pad, and I will put it here, and I will take a little bit of rubbing alcohol into the syringe like that. Okay, should be enough. And let me move anything flammable out of this part. So I will use the alcohol to make this little cotton pad wet. So now it is filled with the alcohol, and while alcohol is burning, he is able to produce high temperature. So I am putting some magnesium here, like that. It's a little bit more than I expected, but we still can use it. And this time I will show you how the ferrorod is working. So let's see what will happen when the high temperature sparkles, and sparkles from the rod. The temperature with sparkles can be up to 3000 Celsius, that means 4.5 thousand of Fahrenheit. So let's see when the spark will hit the pad. Okay, now the alcohol is burning, so the reaction and the temperature of reaction is high. So as you can see, some of the magnesium parts are starting to burn. And yes, you can also see, while it is burning, it flashes. So it's like little falling stars, right? Look what is happening. So now the little pieces of magnesium are started to burn. So it is burning and burning and burning, and now the temperature is falling, and still some of the magnesium parts are burning. Why? Because the temperature near them are high enough, and while they are burning, look, this is what we wanted to see. While they are burning, the temperature is also growing. The only thing which you have to be aware of, anytime when you are using a ceramic, anything like that, if it will get overheated, it will explode. So we are never overheating the ceramics. So I'm planning to move everything from here to do it like this. Okay. So we've seen now how the magnesium finally started to burn, and it was pretty nice. But what will happen if we will add a little bit of oxidizers to this reaction? In order to do it, we will be using again the cotton pad, and we will make it fluffy. We need something fluffy, something like that. And I will put it here. Then I will take a little bit of potassium permanganate, something like that, just a little bit. And I will add it here, just a little, like that. And let's see what will happen, how the cotton pad will be burning if no magnesium is present, but, let me move this one. No magnesium is present, but we still need to use an alcohol to make the reaction going a little bit better with a high energy. So let's burn it, and look what is happening. So it's still burning. It's still burning with the oxidizers, and you see these little sparks. This is where little pieces of cotton pad is burning more intensively because the oxidizer is producing lots of oxygen, and oxygen makes it burning like more and more intensively. Okay, so now as you can see it's disappearing. You still see this little sparking is going on, and I want to stop the fire because I don't want to overheat this part of the plate. So you see what is happening. And now we're going to try something I would say even dangerous, and this experiment should never be tried to be done at home. I'm telling you for future. We're not playing with oxidizers at home at all, even with parent supervision. It's better not to play with oxidizers. So let me try to do something special. I will try to see how is the temperature here. Okay, the temperature is pretty okay. It's not so high. So we're putting our cotton pad. So this is the thing which is helping us to make the process going on. Now we need to be very careful, because for this reaction I'm planning to take only a little bit of the magnesium, only a little bit, like that. Probably 4 little pieces will be enough. So as you see, I set 4 little pieces of magnesium right in the center of the cotton pad. Now I'm going to take again the potassium permanganate right on the magnesium, like this. Okay, so I am going to add some alcohol here. Okay, and now I'm going to move a little bit back, and I will be firing this thing with my gas lighter. Let's see what will happen when the magnesium will be heat enough with the oxidizer present. So the temperature is growing, it's coming closer to the oxidizer and magnesium. Okay, have you seen the difference? I definitely seen it. I almost had the time to remove my eyes from this reaction. So, did you enjoy the difference between regular magnesium burning and magnesium burning with an oxidized substances? And I do understand you would like to repeat it again, and I will be happy to do it. The only thing, this time I will be looking on another direction, because I knew it going to spark. Okay, but we're taking again a little piece of fluffy material, like that. We will be putting again magnesium right here, a little more of the magnesium, and on top of the magnesium we are going to add again the potassium permanganate up here, right on the middle. And because the potassium permanganate is so thin, this is making the reaction going so much intense. And I need to tell you, if I would have a powder of magnesium instead of little pieces, it would be so much it will be so much like brighter. But I don't want to have it as bright as possible. I want to take care of my eyes. So I'm adding here again the rubbing alcohol to raise the temperature up to the level which we need, and I'm going to burn it. And now I'm not going to look into there because it will be bright, but later on you will be able to see what will happen. So now the temperature is growing, and finally the temperature will be high enough for magnesium to start burning. And when magnesium is burning, the temperature goes up and oxidizers started to produce the oxygen, and this oxygen is making the magnesium to burn immediately, like one piece. So now it is going to happen, and the temperature will rise to the level when the magnesium will start burning, like this. So let me finish with that fire. Okay, so that was one of the oxidizers which we had, and it was potassium permanganate. What will happen if we will use a similar oxidizer? And the similar oxidizer's name is the similar oxidizer name is ammonium nitrate. So when you're working with any of the oxidizers, you have to be very careful not to have any fire near you. So I'm finishing with all the fires around. I'm checking the temperature again. The temperature is okay. And now I'm going to open this bottle. And as I told you already, it's packed so well. So we're taking a little fluffy material, something like that, and we're putting this on the middle. So this is our burning pad. Now I am removing this little tape from this bottle, like this. Okay, here we go. And let's put this tape apart. Okay, here. So we're taking again a little bit of magnesium, and I'm very happy that we have pieces of magnesium, not the powder. And I'm putting them in the middle, like that. Okay, we have enough. Let me put it all together, like this. Okay, and with wet substances you shouldn't touch it with your hands. And I'm not using glove because if some fire will get on the glove, you can have a severe burn. So a little burn without a glove can cause you a big burn if a glove will be present. So I'm not going to touch these substances with my hands. I will just take a little bit of it here, and by a little bit I mean a little bit more than a little bit. And now when the temperature will be going up, we will see how these oxidizers will work with the magnesium. So how well would it burn? Let's add it here. Again, we're adding alcohol just to have the temperature in the place higher. So we're flashing it again, like this. So now the oxidizers is going to produce again. Look what will happen. Okay, as you have seen, this oxidizer has helped the cotton pad to burn differently. Why? Because it was producing so much of the oxygen, pure oxygen. So in the reaction area, the amount of oxygen was not 21% like in regular air, but it was much higher. and then you have plenty of oxygen. Everything which can burn are burning extremely well. In order for us to demonstrate how the oxygen helping to burn, we will be using this pad altogether, and the only thing which we are going to use, it will be ammonium nitrate. So let's go here. I'm going to open it again. So I will take a little bit of ammonium nitrate here in the middle of this pad, and I will be again adding some alcohol, which almost gone, but it's okay. It's okay. We have more alcohol. We always have more alcohol when we should, right? So we have more alcohol. And I will take a little bit of this alcohol and I will work around to make this pad not very wet, but still. Okay. And now I will be using again my sparks to start the fire. And see what will be happening. We are not going to see any flashlights, but see how the pad will start burning, then the ammonium nitrate will start to decompose. Take a look. Take a look what will happen. Okay, it's going closer and closer and closer and closer, and now it will start decomposing. See? A little more. A little more. A little more. You know what we need? Probably we need to add a little bit more of a burning material. You know, I think we didn't have enough burning material to make this experiment look nice, because we had here an oxygen, but nothing has happened. But what we can try to do, we can put it back here like that. We still can take some magnesium, and I want to get rid of these things. Okay. No, like that. I don't want to have any burn happening here. Okay. So I will add more magnesium here on the top. Like that. Okay, let me do it like this. And like that. And like this. I believe we still have some ammonium nitrate, which is a strong oxidizer, and we need to use something to oxidize, because this pad didn't have that much of a substance to burn to be oxidized. So now we're going to take more alcohol, and this time I will fill it even more. Okay. Finally we have more than enough. And let me wet this thing, and like that. Okay. And now I'm going to set it on fire. Let's try again using sparks. Don't, I shouldn't look directly, but look what will happen. So now we had something to get oxidized, and it was the magnesium powder. And I need to tell you something, but yeah. Okay. I need to tell you something. We have another substances, which is called the superfine iron powder. So iron is a regular iron, but it was made as a very little powder. And I wanted to show you something. If I will take just a cotton pad like that, And if I will take, again, we will remove the tape, like that. And if we will take a little bit of this powder, and this is like a real powder, and it's very thin, and we will do it like that. And let add some alcohol, because we still need to have a higher temperature here, and let's see if something will happen. Can we set the iron on fire? No, we cannot set iron on fire, but I think I know what we can do. We can take little sparks and try to do like that. So yeah, we were able to set our iron on fire, right? We'll go over. So I want to do one more experiment, because we need to see the difference between the regular burning and the burning with the oxidizer. So I will take again a little fluffy thing, and let me check the temperature. The temperature is okay. And I will remove all the pieces of magnesium. And this part, you see, it is still burning, because there is an air, there is iron, very little, like little pieces iron, and it's still burning, and it will be burning till it will be gone forever. So for this experiment we will take again, first we will take the, we have some mosquitoes attacking me. So first we will take our oxidizer, and I suggest for us to take the ammonium nitrate with a clean spoon, which was used for that, and we will put it here, like that. It's enough. And now we're going to take, we will move everything out, and we're going to take our iron, and we're going to take this iron, and we will add this iron up to here. Okay, now we have iron, and we have oxidizer, and the only thing which we are missing is the alcohol. We need some alcohol for reaction to start quicker. We're adding some alcohol on the top, like that. And now we're going to use again our fire starter, and let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen with the iron when we have an oxidizer. Okay, now the temperature is growing. It should be enough of a temperature for oxidizer to start producing the oxygen. And we can help it a little bit like that, adding a little bit more of alcohol. And when we add the alcohol, temperature drop a little bit, because alcohol is cold, but now it's burning, and look what is happening, and look how the iron is burning with oxidizer. Look what is happening. So we have a little volcano, right? So this is a little volcano which is happening. Nice. Well, the problem that this is, when it's burning, it's produce plenty of heat. So now we need to be careful with this ceramic plate, because now the temperature here is a little bit higher, which I would want us to have. And as you can see, this is a piece of an iron which is gathered together because the iron is melted. The temperature was very high, so the pieces of iron has melted, and it's also some produce of decomposition of oxidizers and the cotton pad. So this is the not very nice looking end of reactions for today. So my question will be, what is the spiritual meaning of these things? And I need to tell you that the oxidizers in our life, this is the power of Holy Spirit. So some things in our lives is happening so hard, like we're hitting the wall, and hitting the wall and hitting the wall, and we don't know what is happening, why the wall is not, why we cannot break through. And this is how the Holy Spirit is working. You probably have seen already how the iron is burning, right? Without any oxidizers, and it's burning like just a little bit. But as soon as we're adding oxidizers, and this is like when we're adding the power of the Holy Spirit into our life, this is what's happening. Regular things which would never, like they never worked before, we were not feeling so much stronger. And now, as you've been able to see that the temperature of this little reaction was growing so much higher when the iron started to burn. And it was burning up to the temperature that the remains of the iron just melted and glued together. So we have little pieces of iron which is not thin anymore. This is how God is working in our lives. He's making non-possible things possible. And it's only up to us. Are we going to add some Holy Spirit power? Are we going to add some oxidizers to our life? Or we're going to continue to do it by ourselves? And if you remember, in the beginning we've been trying to set magnesium on fire, and this metal should be set on fire like kind of easy, but we still experience some difficulties. And I even brought the ceramic pad because I had a metal pad, but you won't be able to burn this material using the metal pad because all the temperature will be going into the metal pad, and we need all the temperature goes to magnesium. So we're using a little, right? We're using a little piece of cotton like that. We're making it fluffy in our life. We're preparing something. We even are adding a little bit of alcohol, and it looks like everything is burning, everything is okay, everything is producing the heat. But how it all changes as soon as Holy Spirit is added into our life? Have you seen these little pieces of magnesium been providing us with such a bright flashes that even it's hurt if you will be looking like that from my distance into this reaction, it will hurt your eyes. And I remember once we've been doing experiments in our university, and now one of the girls, she had a acid and the magnesium in a little spoon, and she was heating it because she wanted the reaction to go quicker. Do you remember I told you that the most important factor is the temperature for a reaction? So she was heating it, and finally all the acid evaporated, and it was a pure magnesium, and the magnesium started to burn. And she just told us, look what is happening, because she was so much surprised. And everybody who turned the ice into this little like spoon, all this magnesium just flashed one together. And when everybody was like blinded, we were not able to see anything. Why? Because this flash was so intensive that we almost lost their sight for several minutes, and it was so funny to watch them. And the funny thing that I was turning my head like this, so the flash was here, so in my vision I had like a dark side starting from here on the right, but I was perfectly fine seeing everything which is happening here. This is what's happening with our life, and we're allowing Holy Spirit to bring the energy, to bring the oxygen into that. The miracles is happening. We are starting to produce so much more heat. The people around us, they could feel something because we're different. So this is how God is working in our lives. So next time when you will be thinking and hitting the ball and thinking, what should I do? You should add the power of the Holy Spirit. And how are we adding the power of Holy Spirit? From being obedient. This is the only way to add the Holy Spirit power, being obedient. When we're obedient, we are like perfect conductor. We can conduct as much of the power as Holy Spirit would like to conduct. This is when we are obedient. So when you're thinking, what should I do in my life to have more of these wonderful flashes? Allow Holy Spirit to work for obedience and follow Him. That's all for today. This is the lesson which we learned, and I hope that we will continue, and I will see you later on. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.